Hello everyone, and welcome to another Tamagotchi video. This time I'm going to be talking about the various One Piece related virtual pets and electronic toys there are around. Of course, I won't spend too much time going over each individual one, as I've had in the past dedicated videos about each of the virtual pets / electronic toys I'm about to talk about in this video. So first up, we of course have the Chopperchi, which is of course the Tamagotchi Nano and One Piece collaboration. On this, you basically just run various Chopper variations, so his various different forms, I guess you could say, and the level of care or the specific requirements and different ways you look after him, different games you play, determine what form of Chopper that you will get. Of course, there are also the Chopper cosplay variations, so there's also Chopper dressed as Luffy, Chopper dressed as Ace, and Chopper dressed as Shanks, if I recall correctly. So each of the forms are determined on the type of care that you give your little Chopper. There's also, of course, the various forms of him and also different outfits that he's worn, so you can either start with the pre-time skip form or outfit, or the New World or post-time skip outfit, which I believe that's what I have here. So it's a pretty standard Tamagotchi. You can feed it, so his food is meat on the bone or fairy floss, and then there's of course the games here, which is just an aiming game or a catch game. So the aiming game, you have to wait until it's in the center to shoot, and it's a Tamagotchi Nano, so it's fairly simple, and the games are fairly short. You really only have to succeed a few times, and then it's the end of the game. And the amount of perfect games and the amount of games in general that you play, that also helps determine the form that Chopper takes when it evolves after 24 hours or so. So let's take a look at the catch game, which of course is catching the fairy floss or cotton candy and not catching the swords. The catch game is also available on a lot of different Tamagotchi Nanos. The Tamagotchi Nanos in particular only really seem to have a pool of 6 or so games, and they all have the skin of whatever the theme of that Tamagotchi Nano is. Oh, I forgot that I've been used to the Tamagotchi connection, and the C button is just to make it go left, whereas on the Tamagotchi Nano it cancels out of it. But you get the general idea. Catch the cotton candy, don't catch the knives. So this being a Tamagotchi Nano, those are basically the gameplay, like all of what I've gone over there. You can check on the status by pressing C to see how happy he is, and you can check the clock by pressing B, and you can also change the clock from there as well. You can mute and unmute it by pressing C and A. So it's fairly simple in terms of a Tamagotchi, but that's just all the Tamagotchi Nanos and all the Tamagotchi Nano collaborations. They're fairly simple, but if you want something that is fairly low maintenance and easy to run, I do recommend the Tamagotchi Nanos. I've gone over them in many various other videos, so check those out if you want more information. But typically I prefer the Tamagotchi Nanos, as they are incredibly simple and they're not so demanding. So if I'm busy at work, I don't have to worry about checking it every hour. In fact, I can only feed it a few times a day and it's fairly happy. But of course, if I want specific evolutions, I have to give various levels of attention to it. But overall, it won't die if you don't feed it for a whole workday, basically, which is the kind of thing that I prefer. Next, we have something else that's sort of recent-ish as well in the last few years, which is the Tamagotchi Smart. Now, these aren't all One Piece related. They had various content cards, which you load up in the side here, and you can only have one loaded at the time. So you can buy the special One Piece shell, but you can also get the One Piece Smart cards separate as well. And it basically just has the regular roster from the Tamagotchi Smart, but they're wearing cosplays of characters from the Straw Hats. So that's basically most of the Smart cards. They're just that roster dressed up as characters. And there's also various items that you can get that are reminiscent of things from One Piece. So I've apparently eaten all the food from there, so we can go to the shop and check out what I meant. Let's go to the app. The thing about the Tamagotchi Smart is, as I call it, very COVID safe. It's very much a period piece. There are no restaurants like there are in other Tamagotchi devices and toys. It's you order it from an app. So you've got the Straw Hat Bento, you've got sandwiches, and I was apparently too slow. And of course you've got the meat there. But yeah, it's very COVID safe in the fact that everything is an app. So we'll go to our meals. So we've got a bento box, meat on the bone, a nice meal there, and some plain sandwiches. And then of course we have the regular items there, but the items that are from the Smart card all have the straw hat at the top there. Then you also have snacks, and you've got fairy floss, you've got the mandarin, and you've got cola, and you've got some soup. And then there are also various items. Now, the items itself that you get, or the food, depending on what you feed to your Tamagotchi, helps determine what form your Tamagotchi takes. So I used the sword item the most when my Tamagotchi was a teenager, and it became the Zoro Kuchipachi adult. And of course, the various items are here. And there's also accessories as well, which I'm pretty sure I have all of. Yeah, so we've got the accessories like Buggy's nose, the flag, we've got Soga King's mask, and a marine hat, which we'll make Zoro wear. And then he puts on the marine hat. And of course you can also see that the room that my Tamagotchi is in is the Going Merry room, I believe. Yeah, we'll look at those items. So each smart card basically has food, snacks, and items, accessories. So we've got the Zoro sword, and it plays a quick animation of that item being used, and one of the characters from One Piece typically shows up. So it's One Piece themed in the way that it's got One Piece references, but you can't actually raise the characters. You can only raise Tamagotchi characters dressed up as various characters. So we've got the Soul King's guitar, and those hearts before just mean that it's a character's favourite item or one of their favourite items. However, all the music that's played, all the sound effects, are just generic Tamagotchi sounds. So it's not like it's going to play We Are or something, which is kind of a shame, but again, the thing with the smart cards is that all the items are just kind of references or things, but all the sounds are fairly straightforward and all the same. So it's kind of like a skin on existing content, if that makes sense. But it plays little animations, and the animations are cute. And it's nice to see Cavendish as well show up, that's pretty cool. So it's pretty cute, and it's got lots of references there. It's not just One Piece, as I mentioned. There are other things as well you can do with the Smart. And of course, I've got many videos going over all the Smart cards that were released, as well as more of what's available on the Tamagotchi One Piece Smart. There is also a game. Every Smart card comes with one game that you can play. But that's basically it. And that is one of the only outside options. You can either go to work or the park. Again, the Tamagotchi Smart feels very COVID safe. For other Tamagotchi, it's usually a game center. But in this one, they made it work. And this one I'm really bad at. You have to dodge the Sea Kings, I think. But I'm actually incredibly bad at this. It also doesn't help that the touchscreen sometimes have a little bit of a mind of its own. There we are. And then you get gotcha points for playing the other work game. Yeah, so it's pretty standard for a Tamagotchi Smart. It's very cute. I actually got this Tamagotchi Smart, same with the Nano, before I got into One Piece. So I was kind of like, oh, I don't get any of these references. But it's nice that I've actually gotten into One Piece, that I actually appreciate all of the references that we have. And I also have a little coin pouch, which I store them in because I love Mihawk, and this is Mihawk's hat. Now lastly, we have something that's not a virtual pet, it's more an electronic game, but I figured I'd include it as well. I have gone over this in a video, but basically it is just a log pose, and you wear it on your wrist, and you kind of just have random encounters, and you fill out maps and areas from the first, I'm pretty sure, like 100 chapters of One Piece. It's basically all of the East Blue stuff and all of the East Blue opponents. And then you get encounters. You can either escape or take them head on. And it's basically just that. So there is food in the game to recover health and everything. So it's more like a Digivice, but minus a pedometer. And you can see that it's kind of well loved. I bought a cheap one, so it's got like a line of pixel damage just horizontally there, and it's got some chipped paint as well. But I got it pretty cheap, so I'm not gonna, beggars can't be choosers there. But yeah, it basically just makes loud noises and tells you whether or not you have to fight an opponent or not. But it basically uses the tilting, so it didn't want me to fight an opponent there. But I go over the gameplay more in its own video, but you tilt it like that to kind of use it, and you battle by kind of tug of warring, I guess is not really a word, but it is for this sake, where you have to like go in a certain direction, and you fill out maps like that as well. It's pretty fun. It's not a standard virtual pet, but I thought I'd talk about it anyway. And it's pretty cool, and it looks like the log pose from One Piece. But as far as I'm aware, there are no others in terms of virtual pets or electronics. I did have a look. I mean, this one barely had any information about it anyway, so that's kind of a shame. But that's despite being a franchise from the late 90s. It didn't get that many virtual pets, since a lot of things got electronics and virtual pets from that era. It's a shame. I am hoping the current Tamagotchi, the Tamagotchi Uni, does have an eventual One Piece collaboration. They're doing one with Sanrio, which the Smart did as well, so I'm hoping we get something for the Tamagotchi Uni. I'd be surprised if they did, but I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't either. So fingers crossed for that. But in any case, those are, as far as I'm aware, and as of recording, all of the One Piece related virtual pets and electronic games that there are available at the moment, again, as of recording this, and that I'm aware of. So let me know your thoughts, comments, questions in the comment section below. Like this video for the hope that the Tamagotchi Uni gets some One Piece content. That'd be pretty great. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have subscribed, tell your neighbors, tell your nakama, tell your enemies, and of course, I'll see you next video. Bye!